It sure does feel good to play an Aliens game that doesn't suck. Yeah, I'm bored. You know, what happened to Tomb Raider?
I used to be obsessed with the Tomb Raider games back in the day because, well, they were really good games. Sure, I mean, maybe not all of them, but most of them. But Tomb Raider Legend and Tomb Raider Anniversary were among some of my favourite games back in the day. I always loved the way that it combined climbing large structures, gun combat, relic hunting, and puzzle solving. But when the PS3 came out, Tomb Raider kinda took a back seat and let other games like Uncharted. Yeah, Uncharted. Yeah, okay. I'm starting to realise why Tomb Raider isn't around anymore.
So from then on, Tomb Raider just became a second-rate Uncharted, and everyone figured, why play Tomb Raider when there's Uncharted? And I have to admit, it's a pretty valid argument. Yeah, it's kind of sad, but these things just happen, I guess. Wait. Tomb Raider got a reboot? Kinda convenient how I only just noticed this while talking about Tomb Raider not being around anymore. Still, now that Tomb Raider's back to reclaim the crown of being the best relic finding, gun shooting, wall climbing, puzzle solving franchise on the PS3, does it stand a chance against Uncharted? Let's find out.
There's a certain rule with gaming franchises nowadays. You either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become, well, shovelware. And when I say die, I just mean get resurrected all over again, aka a reboot. At the time of this review, we're in the 3rd month of 2013. This is the 4th game I'm reviewing. Half of the games I've reviewed have been reboots. I mean, I'm not saying the concept of a remake is a bad thing, I mean, especially when in this case they look this promising. But it just makes me wonder how long it'll be until I see these remakes getting rebooted all over again. And if Spider-Man can get a reboot in less than half a decade, yeah, probably not long. And to cut to the chase, Tomb Raider is a great example of how you remake a franchise. The fundamentals are all there, like the climbing, the relic finding, the mythical gods, all of which I'll get to later, but the core of the game itself, which all of these mechanics are tied to, have been completely revamped, in a way that retains the same Tomb Raider feel while giving it a fresh coat of paint, even if that is a dull, gritty, bleak, grey, depressing coat of paint. But for those of you that are worried about the appeal of the old Tomb Raider games being in here, don't worry, it's here.
Come on. Oh, grow up.
The story in Tomb Raider centres around Lara Croft's evolution from an innocent, probably teenage girl into the stone-cold female equivalent of Bear Grylls that we know her as today. Well, maybe not Bear Grylls, might be going a bit too far, because, you know, Lara never skins to seal and wears its skin as a suit. That never happens at any point. Lara and her TV reality show crew of explorers travel to the Dragon's Triangle in search of uncovering the truth behind Himiko the Sun Queen and the history of Yamatai. But once they all crash their ship on the island and all get stranded, they soon realise there are more secrets and mysteries to uncover about the island that they are stranded on. Pretty sure that's exactly how it's worded on the back of the box. And I actually really like the story. It stays relatively simple and focuses on the character's survival, much in the same way as The Walking Dead or Jurassic Park. But my only nitpick is that some of the characters seem a little bit too cut and dry. It lacks the kind of character development that you'd get from the likes of Uncharted. Sometimes it seems like, oh, this character's Scottish, so let's have him talk about Glasgow and the Loch Ness all the time. This guy's a nerd, so give him a comic book, nerdy shirt, glasses, and on top of all that, enough social awkwardness to make Michael Cera look confident in comparison. I mean, they're not exactly blank slates, but more could have been done with them to develop their character a bit more. As much as I want to avoid comparison, the best way to summarise Tomb Raider is a dark and gritty Uncharted, because it really kind of is. But at times, Lara proves to be a more interesting character than Nathan Drake by being realistically weak. Sure, she may not be as quick-witted, but she is a lot more human. If Lara gets impaled or becomes injured, not only will she nurse the wound, but it will also affect her ability to climb and engage in combat. At times, she does actually break down and cry over being forced into doing things in order to survive. And on top of all that, Lara is not a fighter. Most of the combat in the game relies on stealth and using your weapons to stand any chance against the enemy. It's small changes like this that really go a long way and make Tomb Raider stand out. But the thing that really differentiates Tomb Raider is its intensity at certain parts of the game, because yeah, trust me, this game holds nothing back. And it really shows that Mother Nature is the villain of this game, as Lara is constantly being thrown into awesome set pieces, scaring claustrophobic situations, and fear-inducing nightmares. But a lot of the mechanics in Tomb Raider almost seem like a twist of the mechanics in Uncharted in a way. Like in Uncharted, you can collect relics, but in Tomb Raider, not only are there a lot more things on top of that, to the point where it becomes like OCD's nightmare, there's a lot more emphasis on analysing the collectibles afterwards, which really shows that Lara actually cares about the collectibles she finds, whereas in Uncharted it just serves as replay value, which Nathan Drake doesn't really acknowledge at all. But in Tomb Raider it serves as kind of part of the story, and without giving away spoilers, it kind of goes off on its own story in a way, which is really cool. Shooting enemies also definitely resembles Uncharted, but it also plays really differently, as all enemies feel like a threat, and killing an enemy feels, I don't know, bigger somehow, like more impactful. As a final example, Tomb Raider also has a lot of puzzles, kind of like Uncharted, except, well, you got me there. But to help solve said puzzles, as well as find collectibles and animals in the wild, you can engage in survival instinct mode, which will pretty much highlight everything in the room that is of importance to help you solve puzzles and get collectibles. And this kind of ruins the game. With a game like Tomb Raider, it tries to ground itself in reality as much as possible, and puts you in Lara's shoes. And the game puts you in realistic jungles and other locations, and it feels really immersive, I'll be honest, it really feels like you're in a jungle at some point. But Lara's also psychic and can tell where items are, and well, not only does it completely break the immersion of the game, but it makes the whole puzzle aspect redundant when there's an in-game tutorial telling you what to do. It's up there with the super guides in recent Nintendo titles. It negates all challenge to pamper to the, well, to the less skilled players, as an alternative to actually using your noggin and developing your skills at the game. For example, let's take Shadow of the Colossus. That game also had hints, but it was kinda cryptic. And I know what some of you are thinking, it's like, well, why don't you just ignore it? The game isn't forcing you to use it. Well, you know what, it actually kind of is in a way, because with that feature in mind, the game is built around it for a lot of the game to find certain items. And even if it wasn't built around it, there's still a button there telling you what to do. It would be too tempting to ignore it. I don't know, it's just past games didn't have this kind of thing, okay? I mean, certainly not the older Tomb Raider games anyway. But I know I'm rambling on about this now, but I mean, this really isn't needed, it's just annoying. Visually, Tomb Raider is awesome. Some of the scenery is just amazing to look at. Well, okay, yeah, some textures do look slightly off. I really can't complain for the most part. But where Tomb Raider really thrives is in the subtleties. The lighting in the caves is just great. The way the screen reacts to the environment like a camera lens, like the dirt, the water, the lens flares, the trees roaring by as you free fall through the jungle. I mean, that one isn't really that subtle, but I mean, it looks good. It's all little things, but like I said, it really makes you feel like you're in a jungle at times. So that's pretty much single player over and done with. Now moving on to multiplayer, because hey, it's a PS3 game in 2013, so why not? And it's not bad, I suppose. Maybe it's because I don't usually give online mode much attention, but I actually found this quite fun. But saying that, it does resemble Uncharted a lot, and maybe I shouldn't keep comparing it to Uncharted, but, well, I mean, it is a lot like Uncharted, I can't ignore that. And since online mode in Uncharted 3 is a lot better than this, and it's now free to play, yeah, you have no reason at all to play this. Still, I can't say that I didn't enjoy what I played, even though it isn't very creative. It's very by the numbers online mode, but it's still quite fun. Overall, Tomb Raider is awesome. It doesn't quite match the charm and awesomeness that Uncharted achieves, but for what it is, it's pretty damn good. The set pieces are kick-ass, the intense bits are definitely intense, the story is great. Tomb Raider does a great job of making Lara Croft a character we legitimately care for, instead of a character we, well, let's be honest, legitimately like staring at. If you're a fan of the original Tomb Raider games, you'll definitely enjoy this as well, because this game is nothing if not an evolution of the original formula. Like I said earlier on in this review, Tomb Raider is exactly what a remake should be. It's different enough to stand on its own, but make no mistake, this is still the same Tomb Raider that you've grown to love. All the latest goings on in the Farfetch'd world, well, like me on my Facebook page in the description below, and you can do just that. How handy dandy convenient. Click the annotations to go to my other videos. You know how annotations work by now. Click the Farfetch'd icon to subscribe. Make sure to only subscribe if I am worth your subscription, because I like earning all of my subscribers, so, you know, make sure to think, you know, is this video good enough? Has Farfetch'd really earned a reward? The reward in this case being your subscription. If you think I have, then please subscribe. That would make me very happy. Every time I notice I've gotten one new subscriber, I get really giddy and excited and happy, and it makes my day good. So if you want to make my day, punk, then you better subscribe. Anyway, I gotta go. I hinted a secret annotation in this video. Can you find it? I bet you can't. Go try and find it then if you think you're so good. What accent is this? It's like a British accent. But I'm already British, so I don't know what kind of accent it is. What am I doing in my life? I need to go out and get a girlfriend as well.